My name is Kim. Welcome back to the QuarterAcre Cottage Homestead. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to try another first for me. That's what this channel is all about, and we are going to try dry packing our beans in the pressure canner. So if you remember, we've done it three ways. So the first way that I tried was where you soak your beans overnight and then you cook them for 30 minutes. You rinse them and then cook them for 30 minutes and then rinse them again. Then pack your jars, fill them with water. And I did this first with navy beans and I found them to be a little soft. That could be because they're navy beans. And I'm just not used to pressure can navy beans, but I found them just to be a little soft. The second way I tried was with pinto beans, and I tried the method where you top them with boiling water for it's either a minute or 2 minutes and let them sit for an hour and then pack your beans. I really enjoyed this method. With the pinto beans, I didn't feel like they were too soft. Now we're going to try black beans, and I have been watching the video from Rachel from that 1870s homestead, and this is the method that she uses, and I wanted to give it a try. So you just take your beans, which are dry, you haven't done anything to them, and you add a half a cup per pint, a cup per quart. I probably need to get my funnel. Definitely need to get my funnel. Okay, so now we're going to fill to 1 inch of headspace. With boiling water. I love the sound of the water pouring in over the beans. I don't know why, but it just sounds very soothing. Okay, let's fill in a little more here. And we can put some seasoning in. I should have put the seasoning in before I added the beans, but I think it'll be fine. And I'm just putting in about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. But you can use, I saw Rachel with that 1870s homestead, she puts her own version of Mexican seasoning in. With some beans she does Italian seasoning. So, and some I think she even does Cajun seasoning. So you can do whatever works for you or none at all. And I do have my canner getting hot because my understanding is that we want to, if we're using hot jars, we want to use hot canner, and this prevents cracking from the differences in temperature. We're just going to put on our lids, and remember, we're just going to do them finger tight. So I'll be honest with you, if this is a, if these turn out tasty, this could not be an easier way to can beans. Tell me in the comments what methods you use. Or if you have been too afraid to, like I was too afraid to use a pressure canner, but I watched video after video. I'm in a community group called LMR for the Little Mountain Ranch. Chelsea with Little Mountain Ranch has a community that you can be a part of. And the ladies in that community are absolutely wonderful and encouraged me to give it a try and not be afraid. So this is now my third pressure canning attempt. And I've been very successful each time. So my canner holds 8 pints on, I have a Presto pressure canner, and my canner holds 8 pints on the bottom level. You can stack them. I am not doing that. So we're gonna go ahead and put our lid on. So there's an arrow here on the lid. You just want to line that up. You want to make sure your weight is off. And then we're just going to look for steam to come out of our pipe. And once that happens, we're going to let that steam come out for 10 minutes. And then we're going to put our weight on, and we'll watch as our gauge gets up to 11. So for the Presto pressure canner for my elevation, which I think is 797, we would want it to get to 11. I know with the All-American canner, it's 10 for my elevation. But I don't have an All-American canner. I think they're wonderful, but quite an investment. And since this is only my third pressure canning video or pressure canning experience, I wanted to see how I would do with pressure canning before I did anything more. And honestly, I have not found anything wrong with this canner. So I probably, based on what I can grow on my quarter acre, and what I will do for my home, I probably won't graduate outside of this Presto canner. I think the All-American is one that you could pass down for generations, but I don't know that my family will want my canner. I don't know that they even will care about canning. Hopefully my granddaughters will. That'll be something exciting to work on with them. So we're going to let this get up to steam coming out. And you can see it when it happens. So we're going to let it steam for 10 minutes and then put the weight on. And you can see the steam coming up. Supposed to let the steam happen for 10 minutes and then put the weight on, then let it come up to pressure. Then you start your timer for my canner and for my elevation, and for quart or pint jars, it's 75 minutes. This sounds scarier than it is. There are several safety valves on here. So there's a safety valve back here that you can see is up, and that lets the pressure out. And then there's an emergency safety valve right here that will pop off if that other one would fail. When you're new to canning like I am, you need to stay around your canner so that you can get to know your canner on your stove. Once this comes up to pressure, I'm going to turn it down, but if you would go below the 11 pounds, you would have to start that process all over again of resetting your timer for 75 minutes. So it's just easier not to let it go below that, and so eventually I'll know what the sweet spot is for my stove. Okay, our timer has gone off. I'm going to use a hot pad to put this on, and you just put it on like that. And now we're going to watch as our gauge goes up to 11, and once it hits 11, I'm going to start to turn it down gradually so that it doesn't the pressure isn't too high. I'm going to set my timer for 75 minutes. I turned it down to just above 6. Okay, my timer has gone off. We are going to turn our heat off of our stove, and we're going to wait for the pressure gauge to go down to 0. Let that cool off a little bit, and then we're going to remove our weight, and then we'll remove our lid and remove our jars. Okay, friends, our gauge is down to 0. So I'm going to get some oven mitts. I'm going to pull off my weight. I'm going to unlock my lid, and you want to open it away from you so that that steam doesn't come up in your face. And then we'll pull out our jars. One thing I keep forgetting to do is putting a splash of vinegar in my canning water so that the white residue from my water doesn't get all over the jars and my lids. I get so excited that I forget that step. You can see I have some white residue. It'll wash off, but if I'd remember, it would be better. Whoops. That could have been terrible. Okay. So we have canned our black beans. I will be using them in a recipe this week, and I will let you know how they turn out. I am making a burrito that has eggs and black beans and green onions, and a low-carb burrito, because on my other channel, Healing Place Cottage, I make, listen to those jars popping. That's a beautiful sound. But on my other channel, Healing Place Cottage, I make low-carb and diabetic-friendly recipes because I'm someone living with type 2 diabetes. And what started this entire journey was me deciding to make changes to my lifestyle so that I could get off insulin. And I have lost 58 pounds, and I am officially off of insulin. And I make these diabetic-friendly recipes so that I can share with other people who want to make those same changes. And they're good recipes whether you're diabetic or not. Oftentimes they're low carb. Sometimes I'll have gluten-free or slow cooker recipes, and just a variety of different things. You could eat whatever carbohydrates you wanted with them if you were not looking to do low carb. So I'll share with you a link to the video when I make that so that you can see how these beans turned out and how they were used in a recipe. I hope that you enjoyed our time together today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. It helps other people find me when they're looking about learning to do quarter acre homesteading or any of the things that we do on this channel, like canning or bread making or gardening or any of the other things. I really enjoyed our time together, and I look forward to being with you again soon. Take care, friends.